Screw the upcoming municipal election, recently plunged into chaos. Toronto, we have a vote that you can really get behind. Nathan Bayerly is a 41-year-old communications technology teacher who lives in St. George, ONT, north of Brantford. He recently submitted a proposed new LEGO set on the company's LEGO Ideas website, where fans can pitch the company, and each other, on product ideas of their own invention. Bayerly's Toronto architecture set, as prototyped by him at home, is created with 800 pieces and featuring the CN Tower, Rogers Centre, First Canadian Place, the Fairmont Royal York and Nathan Phillips Square, but his depiction of the city needs 10,000 votes for the company to even begin consider putting it into production for public purchase. Nathan Bayerly has created a Toronto architecture LEGO set that he has put up on the LEGO Ideas website. He needs 10,000 votes for them to even consider making it. Nathan Bayerly, it might look humble, but Nathan Bayerly's Toronto architecture LEGO set required 800 pieces and a bit of creativity in sourcing the right parts. Nathan Bayerly, every season or so, there are 5 to 10 sets that actually reach 10,000 vote limits, and LEGO makes maybe 1 or 2 of them, says Bayerly. So the odds are pretty low, but the good thing is that LEGO already has an architecture series of sets. They have some other cities like Chicago or New York, and I thought it would be great if they added Toronto. I lived in Toronto for 8 years and I just loved some of the buildings, and I've always been a fan of architecture, and it's a global city and it should be represented in LEGO. In terms of choosing buildings, we are a little surprised Will Alsop Society University building didn't make the cut, as it's easy to see it as a LEGO brick on stilts, but Bayerly took us through this reasoning. Article continued below. I thought of iconic Toronto buildings, and of course, you have the CN Tower. So if you have that, you might as well have Rogers Centre, as they are next door and kind of a pair. Then I thought of other buildings that would look neat. It's quite tough to make something quite detailed at that small scale, like I could make a really cool Scotia Plaza, but not at that scale. So I thought of First Canadian Place. That's pretty iconic. They just redid the marble, so it looks a lot nicer than it did 5 years ago. Then I wanted something historic. The Royal York was the tallest building for a little bit and it's a different color. You don't want all gray in this design. Then I thought about City Hall. I liked that it was curved, and with Nathan Phillips Square, it would be cool to have that reflecting pool. So I chose that as well. It took Bayerly about 2 weeks to design and find the parts needed for his city design, and 2 full days to build it, and the teacher jokes that it'd be perfect for a "what I did on my summer vacation" story. He identifies getting the design and incline of the CN Tower as the toughest thing, and that the Nathan Phillips archways are actually pieces from a Millennium Falcon set, adding a bit of Star Wars cool to one of the city's prime gathering spots. Bayerly admits that he's something of a long shot to hit that 10,000 vote mark. His set, which got posted on the site on Wednesday, just passed 100 at the end of the week. So he was thinking about reaching out to the 6 God to garner some support. My chances of getting 10,000 votes? Pretty slim. What I was going to do was message Drake, he says with a laugh. If anybody can get through to Toronto, it's Drake. He's a young guy, maybe he still plays with Legos, but if he liked it, I'm sure we could get the votes. If you like the idea of a LEGO Toronto architecture set, you can add your vote for it by searching on the LEGO Ideas site for Toronto.